Hello everybody, this is Maniac4Toys, and I'm here today with Thin Ice, not to be confused with Don't Break the Ice. Maybe we'll talk about that at a later time. This is a Pressman game from 1989 as the first release of it. This particular copy is from 1990 and 1992, has a copyright between both of those, but it's still around to this day. It mostly just has a different art style for the box, some of the graphics on the actual board game, but it is the same exact gameplay. You can find this at Walmart and other places that sell toys for about $13. I have even seen a listing for it on Amazon for roughly that price, like $12.95 or something. And it's a fun, simple game of elimination that I thought it would be nice to share for today. Includes igloo game base, 3 legs, 2 hoops, giant tweezers, 24 marbles, labels, tissues, instructions. It does not include instructions, at least now. I may have already used those in a previous time. I've used the game itself many times, but yeah, these are a bit dated as far as the graphics go on the outside of the box. I just thought it'd be fun to share here. They do share some of these on later editions of Thin Ice. I know that it's been reviewed a couple other times on YouTube, and in a albeit cringy YouTube kid sort of fashion. Yeah, they still use some of the same stuff in later copies of the game. I just thought it was pretty interesting. But yeah, let's get this thing opened up and see how it plays. I don't know if it has all of the marbles, but it should still have enough to get the game idea across. So what we'll need to do is put on each of these pillars. They fit right into place on, I think, only one side. There we go, that's a more sturdy side for it. Next, you add on this hoop, which should fit over these 3 pillars. Then, before you add anything else onto here, before you add this other blue hoop that we took out in the beginning, you add a tissue, which could be just any brand of tissue that can fit over that area, and place that part over it. It should create kind of a tight structure. Should be just tight enough, and try not to rip it. Maybe it'll be better on this side. There we go. Should be like a solid drum sort of thing here. Oh, now I ripped it. Hold on. And there we go. We have a nice tight structure for the tissue on top. So this actually has a interesting way of working. Next thing we add in will be our water. That's going to go along the bottom ring. That should be right along in here. It should be just enough to get all the way around, but not enough to spill over. Then we add our marbles, and as I'm looking through the box, I just realized the tweezers are missing from my copy of it. I'm sure they're around somewhere, but I won't have them available for this video. But the idea is that you and several players will try to eliminate each other in this game. Kind of like Break the Ice, but in a different fashion of how everybody takes their turns and how they're supposed to knock out different players. They only include 1 pair of tweezers for the entire kit. The idea is that you pass the tweezers back and forth to each player and try to add another marble from the bottom onto the top. Now, as we see, the marbles are submerged in water, so they're going to carry a little moisture with them. That means as each of these marbles goes on top, it's going to soften up the tissue on top of it until eventually enough marbles and moisture are added on there that the tissue will break through. When you have that happen, the person who puts that marble on there is the loser. I don't know if it really helps beyond that for, multiple players, but for a 2-player game, it's pretty easy for a, elimination sort of round. Okay, so looking back at the rules in this simple little rule book, paper, front to back sort of thing, it says in here that, you have the tweezers that have just enough room to pick up 1 marble at a time. Doesn't matter what color it is, but just picking up 1 marble to place it on top of here. You have to quickly pass them to the next player so that if it does break through, the person that is holding the tweezers when the marbles tumble will get a letter against them. The scoring is in the way of playing horse, where every time a person messes up, they will get a letter. And for this game, it writes it out as ICE. So if you get 3 times, then it's over for that player. And then you keep going until one player is left in the game. So you would have to get multiple tissues and multiple cups of water to fill this up and try to set it all up again for each player, and things like that. So you just have to go through real quick, pass it to the next person, pass it to the next person, pass it to the next person. Where you do put it on here does make a difference. I would say that the best strategy is if you put it on the outer rim, it shouldn't be too bad, especially when you already have some coupled together, So the only moisture is going to go here. It's not going to already, break that part open. So if you do want to have a little bit of edge with the game, try to get through it as, try to stay in as long as possible. There we go. Now they're breaking through. Then that's probably the better option, is like maybe start a few in the middle and then try to work your way to the outer rim. So that way it doesn't hold a lot of weight or it doesn't hold a lot of moisture on certain parts of the tissue. So if I had another person playing and they had this open, they would get the letter I, set it all up again with the tissue, and rinse and repeat until one player gets 3 letters. Or you could play this just like horse, where, different word. It doesn't have to be horse, doesn't have to be ice for this game, but there we have it. So it's actually a fun, quick sort of game because you have to panic going like, okay, I put my marble in, pass it to the next person. Put my marble in, pass it to the next person. So that way, when you're holding the tweezers, you're not the one that's going to get blamed for breaking the ice. So it's a very simple thing, but I think it's a lot of fun. And like I said, with that quick, rapid motion of it, it could be something to think about, especially when, moisture is already building up in here, and you try to think like, oh, I got to think of the next spot to put this where it's not going to break me through. Through the whole thing next. I will say that putting the tissue on here, as you saw by the technical difficulties, is a little bit difficult. It is very tight with this ring around with the tissue on there. It can still be done relatively easily, and I actually did notice, because I haven't played this in a long time, I noticed in here that the blue ring on the outside actually says which one is the top and bottom for holding the ring on there. I tried it before, as you saw, putting the wrong side on, so that's why it didn't work. But now, that's the idea. So it is a bit of setup again and again to do. That might be the other part about it, is it'll take a while before you actually get through eliminating people in the game, but it'll still happen. Like I said, you don't have to associate the marbles with players like by color or anything, but it is still something that I thought was kind of fun to share. And like I said, you can still find it in stores nowadays, so if you wanted to pick up your own copy of it, you can go to Walmart, Amazon, places that normally carry board games, and you should be able to find it there. It's actually one of the cheaper ones that I've talked about up to this point. So thank you for watching this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. It's definitely been less cringy than the YouTube Kids videos on this game that I've seen in the past, so I don't have any wacky sound effects all through the video. Thank goodness. Seriously, I did look those up before doing this video, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not better by quality, but I'm definitely better by by narration. We'll see you next time with more videos, and we'll see you around sometime later for the 20Q. I almost forgot what it was. So we'll see you next time with more toy reviews, and let me know in the comments below what you thought about this toy just from the basic gameplay I've shown here. Hey, before we wrap things up, I just wanted to do another thing here. I actually experimented and said, what if I tried putting 2 tissue layers into this loop? It actually does have enough durability to hold them in there, and surprisingly, even after going through all of the marbles, it didn't break them through. Maybe it was just the way they were placed or something like that, but that's an interesting way. If you wanted to make the game easier for younger kids, then perhaps you could try that method, where it would take a little bit more strength and therefore a little bit more marble placement before it breaks through. But just wanted to note that. I just thought that would be something interesting to try out. I don't think it would really work after 2 of them, although it also depends on where you get your tissues from. Maybe that's absorbency might be a thing like that. I feel like I'm doing a Charmin commercial or something where I'm like testing how well the fabric can absorb it. But here we are. Anywho, I thought I'd throw that in there. Thanks for watching. I've got Maniac for Bricks, Iceberg Bricks, and Johnny Thunder just for fun because Arctic themed. I'll see you next time with more videos.